Right, off to the powder coaters. I just picked these up from the powder coaters and couldn't resist opening them. They look really nice. So I'm just going to get the wrapping off and have a look at the whole lot there. So this is all the original stuff that was on the car, all marked up and forward marked, and it's been zinc treated and then it's been powder coated. Well, it's been blasted, zinc treated and then powder coated, and it looks absolutely lovely. So you'll still get, because it's original and it was pitted, you'll still get the pits, but it's all completely treated and should be perfectly solid, and I'm really happy with the result for that, so can't wait to get that back on the car. Just taking that back to shiny as much as possible, and I'm just having a look at the rest of it. I'm going to basically just pick off these tiny little dabs of surface rust and treat those, and then probably going to prime patches and then respray the panel so it all looks neat under the bumper bar. Taking off these bits here, I'm going to have to treat these. It may well be that water is seeping in there. It definitely was seeping in there, but we'll get that treated. Got another little bit there, so I'm going to just take off these screws behind here, lift off this panel, and then that will give me access to take off the rust there, treat it, and then I can just very lightly fill that and then spray it, and then put the rubber strip back on. Oh, there we go. What is that wire there? Something aftermarket. Oh, no, it's the old alarm. It's the old wire for the alarm that I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, I can see that's just taped in up there. There we go. Get rid of that rubbish. We don't need that. There we go, nothing too serious. Let's get that treated. So we give that a really good sand, chip off any big lumps and bumps. Same with the little speckles there. Now I'm going to put the rust killer on it. And then when that's had a time to kill the rust off, the remaining rust, I'm going to put a very fine surface filler on that, and that will allow me to put these rubber strips back on and they'll fit perfectly. Alright, I'll do a bit of dusting, then a lovely coat of primer. Primer for you too. Let's break out the Henry. I've just given this a very light misting of primer. What I'm going to do is build up the coats, let it dry for about 15 minutes, then put another couple of coats on, and I'm going to try and blend in just these rough bits where I have painted on the rust killer, just try and get it as smooth as possible, then a top coat, then a lacquer. While that's drying, I'm going to just go around here and clean all this stuff up and address these little blobs and bits and bobs there where the rust has been treated in the spare tyre well. And also big news with the welding. Basically what I've done, I had a go. It's always very important, I think, to have a lash, and I wasn't happy with it, so I've cut it all back out. Cut this one out as well, and I'm going to get a mobile welder to come in and do this for me, because it's a skill I'm not going to learn that quickly. And with this car, with potentially what's happening to the values of them, and I need it to be a very tidy job. Everything else in this car will be done to a very high standard. I didn't want just these corners letting it down, so I'm going to probably put the back subframe back on, get the anti-gravel on, put the back subframe back on, and then get somebody in to weld that, or failing that, could put it completely back together and drive it somewhere to get that done. But either way, it's not a major problem, because it is out of the way. But I do need it done professionally, because, you know, spending a bit of money on this car, and it has to be right. So just treating these isolated areas in the boot, so I want to keep the originality of it. Just the marks where the tires are doesn't bother me, but it's literally just the little bits that I've dabbed the rust treatment on, and then that'll have a coat of paint, and then put a bit of lacquer on it, and you can still see all the scuffs and the marks, and it's obviously a genuine car. I don't want to cover everything up, and it's just to sort of touch it up, really. Alright, there we go. Just going to let this primer dry, then I'm going to put the other coats on it once that's properly dry. Obviously I've got the subframe out in the garden there, all nice and blasted. We get the back bumper hanger back on, and the back bumper support bar there, the crash bar. All of this I'm going to put on anti-gravel, and then I'm going to screw the subframe back on there, so we'll crack on with that probably in the next episode. But I'm going to do a bit more on this, and then I will get the next one to you very soon.